Good morning, everyone. Scott Zambelli here with Odd Musings. Brett Pinson will be joining us shortly. He's been doing an internet upgrade at his house, so hopefully everything's going well. We should be seeing him soon popping in. So hope everyone had a good Labor Day weekend. The unofficial start of spring is upon us, or fall is upon us. And we're seeing the days are starting to notice the days are getting shorter in the morning. The sun's getting up a little later, sun's setting a little earlier at the end of the day. So we'll see where that goes. But anyways, let's get into my little ad read for Team Titans Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. That's right. Let me type out my little thing here. Let's call us at. All right, I'm going to post our team hotline in the comments there. There we go. For all your real estate needs, give us a call. We're here for you. You know what we do. We're realtors. It's been a tough year if you're a buyer. It really has been, and there's a lot of things going on. A lot of talk about home prices, especially with it being an election year. But if you do some research, there's been corporate entities, Wall Street entities like BlackRock, who've been getting into the housing industry. They've been buying up single family homes and converting them into rental units is what they're doing. And they're projected by the year 2030, which isn't that far away, only 6 years away, to own about 40% of the full rental market. That's driving up house prices. So if you're a buyer, it's been a tough year. You want a realtor who knows how to negotiate for you. And that's us. So give us a call. And we got Brett here. We have a lot of echo, just so you know.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out a sound thing issue here.
Yeah, no problem. All right.
So let me pop back out.
Oh, okay. So that was a sneak peek of Brett joining us. He'll be back soon. But anyways, yeah, it was real estate that's been driving up the prices, supply and demand. And with them buying up so many houses and with them projected to own 40% of all rental houses in the country in the next 6 years, they're sucking away that supply. So the rest of us who are out buying a house, we're fighting over what's left. And that's really where the driving forces are pushing prices up. So you got to know how to negotiate. You got to need a realtor who's very on time and on top of things. If you have a part-time realtor, they might not be able to react fast to what the market's doing. We also have a lot of changes with the rules for real estate and how we interact with buyers. And nationwide, those laws have changed. And if you get a realtor who's not up to date on how to negotiate on your behalf, you can really get hurt if they word your contract incorrectly. It could hurt you as the buyer. So you want agents who know what they're doing and stay on top of things. So as far as today's show, we'll see when Brett pops in. We got I saw Alien Romulus this past weekend, so I'll be able to talk a little bit about that and some other things coming up. Let's talk, before I get into that, we have news. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm trying to think. There were some trailers that came out I was going to comment on. Type in trailers and that's not what I want. Movie trailers. All right, so let's pull up some movie trailers here for what's coming up. We've got new trailers. Let's see. Minecraft movie. Didn't hear about this here. Let's pull this up. Gotta share it here. If it'll connect. All right. Sharing the screen now. All right, we'll pop this up. So, evidently, there's a Minecraft movie coming up. Here's the trailer. Looks like Jason Momoa and Jack Black are in it. Not sure why it's going so slow. There we go. This way.
What the hell?
Anything you can dream about here, you can make.
Who are you?
I am Steve.
All right, you can probably hear me. I'm just trying to get sound.
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
This guy is such a tool bag.
So evidently they're doing a Minecraft movie.
Yeah, I just heard about that today. I hadn't seen anything on it yet. So
yeah, so I'm guessing it's going to be Jumanji type. It looks like because they're normal, whereas everyone else is square and blocky. So maybe they got sucked into the Minecraft world. Not sure, but we got Jack Black playing Steve and Jason Momoa in it. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I could see kids liking that.
yeah, kids love the Minecraft stuff. So
yeah. I wonder though if current kid is that considered like the old crowd for kids now? Like because Minecraft's been around for a while now, hasn't it?
yeah, I want to say it's got to be close to 20 years.
Yeah, let's see Minecraft because I feel like Ashley played that when she was little.
Oh, probably. Yeah, it's been around for a very long time. My nephews played it, and they're all older. So
Minecraft 10-year anniversary. It says 10-year.
is it 10 years? Feels like longer.
Wait a minute. Oh, first line. Here we go. 2009. So 15 years. So that must be an old article, the 10-year one. But yeah, so it's been around 15 years. So the people, if you were 10 when it came out, yeah, you'd be about 25 years old now.
Oh, geez.
Jack Black does a good job with family-friendly movies. He's got Kung Fu Pandas, he's got the Jumanji movies, even his other comedies. Like Nacho Libre and all those things. They're all funny. He does a good job on those. So
Yeah, he does a lot more of the family stuff than he does the not family stuff. I mean, his Tenacious D is not necessarily family friendly. So
right. Yeah. So welcome to the show, Brett. Glad to have you on board here.
Well, we got new internet today, and of course that means it messes up everything.
Yeah.
So I try to get as much of this fixed today as I can before I fly out tomorrow for Portland. Bardstone will be in Portland for Rose City Comic Con. We're listed under Kevin's name, Kevin Minert. He's the primary person that I'm going in support.
Let's see. Let's pull up Rose City Comic Con's website here really quick. We got this. Let's add. Yeah, it's a well-established show.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around for quite some time. But here you got it here.
Yeah.
Hodor is going to be there. Nice.
Okay.
Ever see him in real life? Christian, I don't know how to say his last name. Near.
I don't know. He's
but he's huge in real life. It's insane. I got to meet him at a show a while back, and if I remember right, he's a DJ.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. So like at the Comic-Con I met him at, he was DJing at night at some local place.
I
It works out good.
there too. So
But yeah, they always have good guests. You got Charlie Cox, Rosario Dawson. That's awesome. Daredevil and Ahsoka.
yeah,
Let's see. Oh, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. Always a fun duo.
yeah.
Who's this here? Oh, Breaking Bad. They got a Breaking Bad whole guest thing going on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are there, and if I was going to meet anybody, it'd probably be those two. The 20th anniversary of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. So some good stuff going on there. Let's see, guest lists.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good guests too. It's a huge turnout all the time here. So
Well, they got a good. See, there's a lot of good comic guests there. Scroll up a little bit.
yeah.
I mean, you've got like Brian Michael Bendis is going to be there. You know, I don't see him at many shows.
Yeah.
You know, a few others there, so it's a nice little turnout for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's up in the northwest part of the country there, so you know, if you're used to going to the Midwest shows, out there you're going to get a crowd that maybe doesn't make their way out this way. So same with the fans too. So for Bardstone, this is great to be getting into this territory because it's a fan base that we don't usually get to interact with.
Yeah.
You know, the closest we probably get is San Diego. We've done Salt Lake City.
West Coast shows the last couple of years. We did Salt Lake City last year, and then we do San Diego. But then other than that, it's been Colorado Springs up until this year. We hope to be back there next year, but
yeah.
So
good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Go check out the Bardstone booth under Kevin Meinert's name.
Yep, and we'll have all the Crimson Shadows books, the Poe books, tons of pins. He's doing the pin change thing they're doing there. They'll have a exclusive Cthulhu for that event.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes too, because the books were so well received in Tampa.
Yeah,
and so you know, basically the next year, everywhere we go, it's the debut of the books in those locations. So excited for that.
Oh yeah, same here. And then we just started announcing we will be in London at the beginning of March.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got into the London show we wanted to try for, and
it got in.
Got in.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
So we'll be going there. We leave just at the end of February and gone for about a week total, so we can have a couple of days there. But it's March 1st and 2nd. We post some more information along the line as we get closer and that stuff, so people know where to find us there. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Yep. And Kevin's got he's got the insider knowledge of how to go across the ocean there at a good price.
Well, we already booked our flights. I got to book Mom's. She's going with us. I got to go call it and get that squared away because I'd already booked mine. So I want to get her under my booking because being a silver, I get extra baggage.
Nice.
And so I have 2 bags going at 50 pounds each, then 1 bag.
Yeah.
And then so we'll be doing that, and then do a little touristy things there, checking out stuff. You know, it's like kind of like say when driving around, and he turns around somewhere, and he goes, "Look, kids, Big Ben." You know, Big Ben, probably.
And that London show gets a really good turnout, so
right.
that'll be a great show to do. I mean, it's been when was Paris? 2018, I want to say, maybe 19.
And this is not the Reed show. This is a different one, but they still get, I think, 50,000 people through the door. The Reed one gets more.
Right.
Bigger Reed one, but they do several around the Great Britain area. So they do like in Cardiff, Glasgow, stuff like that. So looking at it and going, okay, if the London one works good, I wouldn't mind trying one of their other ones, like up in Scotland, Glasgow. I mean, it'd be really cool to go up there. So
the one on my radar I really want to do is the Dublin show in Ireland. I really want to do that. So that's the one I'm trying to target.
Yeah.
Usually every time I look into it, it's like, oh, they just sold out of tables. I'm like, oh man.
Well, you got to be on top of it. You got to watch them. You got to email ahead of time, see what they need
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So
It's hard with all these shows. There's so many shows though that are on the radar where you got to time it right. Like whether it's Motor City Comic Con, even in the States, there's shows where like the Motor City show. I was watching it; they were delayed, and I knew when they usually open up the tables. I was watching. Then I got tied up for like 2 weeks on doing real estate. Then I'm like, oh, I better go check on the Motor City website, and boom, oh, they released it and they're sold out. I'm like, what? What happened? Oh well, that's the way it works, right?
but it happens that way. I mean, I've done that too. I wanted to be in a show, and then, it's
Yeah, it happens. It's the way the cookie crumbles.
yeah. So yes, we're looking at that, and then I'll definitely plan on Motor City. Look at some other shows here and there, and of course, coming up for us, besides Rose City this weekend, next month we've got Spooky Empire down in Orlando, followed by Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we've got a fair amount going on right now within the realm of Bardstone as we've launched the trade and
Nice.
there, and then so I mean, with London though, I probably will not be doing the Great Lakes Comic Con next year.
Then I'll be sure to sign up for it then.
Yeah, I was going to say to do that. So we have a Bardstone president, only because it's just we're leaving like that following week, and it's just a lot to get ready, stuff like that. So, I love Mike's show though. I always like.
Oh, Mike's show is great.
Yeah.
It's just hard for both of us to be selling at that show. It's a smaller show. It's an awesome show.
Yeah.
But for both of us to be set up like 10 feet from each other selling the same product doesn't make sense.
And yes and no. I mean, I personally have a problem with it myself, but we're both selling the we'll both have Crimson Shadows. I would stuff like that. I always just did my covers,
Right.
Things like that, and then I also have all the old Boomtown stuff, and we have all the artwork. So I mean, it's just like even in our shows, we kind of even night together. We have similar stuff, and I think it's for stuff. We just like to have a gap between us. I don't want. So he tells somebody, he goes, "Yeah, don't put us next to each other." It's like the first time I mentioned that with Mike's show, he was like, "Is there a problem I need to know about?" I was like, "No."
No, it's more divide and conquer,
and that's always how we treat it. So,
especially with the bigger show, like C2E2, I applied to. Kevin's going to be there. Well, he also applied. We won't know till January if we're in. You did too?
Not yet, but I'm planning on it. We've had this.
Okay, perfect.
We switched internet providers because the one we had, AT&T, just crapped out on us. So we lost during the storm. Couldn't get any response for 5 days. We've had issues with them anyways.
Yeah.
And I think that we've had the Uverse forever, and they're actually looking at getting rid of the Uverse for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I think it's time. So we're going streaming anyways for everything right now. So we switched over to Comcast. So I'm still playing around with my sound as I'm trying to get it going.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I've been very happy with our Comcast service at my house.
I know you used to have Uverse as well.
A long time ago.
Yeah, we kept it. We liked it for a while. It's just price kept going up and up and up, and then the call was like, well, there's no deals, and what it is they're trying to get rid of the Uverse side of things eventually, but legally, I don't think they can just shut everybody off,
right?
Because of the local stuff, things like that. And we'd looked at going to streaming for a while now, so we're trying for our TV side of it. We're looking at Fubo. We're using now trying that. It seems to work pretty good. We get all the local channels. We get ESPN, which right now DirecTV and AT&T, it's all the same company, does not get ESPN or any of the ABC stuff. So,
yeah.
So I think that's something we're trying there. And then realistically, I don't watch a lot of regular TV. I stream most everything I do anyways.
Right.
So,
yeah. It's
we stream movies. We can catch up on any of the TV shows because most of us is like Paramount anyway. So, that. So it's just a whole mix of stuff. We've all talked about it on these shows on cutting the cord and stuff like that. And really, it's about what do you use and not use and stuff like that. So,
yeah, so much is on streaming now. Even the stuff that's on cable, you can use. A lot of those channels have their own free apps available for streaming, so you can watch their live stuff at least through there.
Right.
So it
The whole thing. We see so much of the live stuff as it is. So
well, that's where we're going to see a shift where, the cable companies, they're really now internet provider companies who offer shows as well. And as that ratio starts changing, because people need internet, it used to be you pay for cable and they threw in internet super cheap.
yeah.
Well, what's happening is they're going to start charging a lot for internet over time, and then they'll offer cheap stuff to add cable.
But even then, it's not even cheap anymore for adding the cable. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's all that different stuff. It's just trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, things like that. Just like right now, I'm trying to fix something on this stupid computer since I got new internet.
Yeah.
It's weird how it does that. It's something with Windows. It did that before, and I fixed it, and I just don't remember what I did to fix it. So I'm trying all these little things here. So
Yeah.
so what else is going on, Scott?
This past week I got to see Alien Romulus. You have not seen it yet, correct?
Not yet. I want to see it. I just haven't had time.
I'll just do a general review of it. I think this review from the BBC is spot on. This clever, gripping, and sometimes awe-inspiring chiller is the best alien film in decades. I don't know about awe-inspiring. When you're a franchise that's going on to 40 years old here, I don't know if awe-inspiring is the right word because a lot of it already. But I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It fits perfectly with the first two Alien movies. And actually, there is a link to the second Alien movie in this that they reveal, which is really cool. I really liked it. So if you enjoy the originals, I feel like even the pacing, it felt more old school. My favorite Alien movie is still Aliens, the one with the colonial Marines. But this is, I almost feel like The Force Awakens, how it was like a soft reboot of the series. I feel like this is a soft reboot of the original. The female in there, very reminiscent of Ripley. And the way the movie ends, they could definitely, if they choose, they could do another couple movies following this character.
Okay.
So to me, it felt like a soft reboot of the franchise to now follow this character onward.
Okay.
And this could be the new Ripley. Very well done. We've talked many times in the past about strong female characters in movies when they're just shoehorned in and it doesn't make sense. This one makes sense. It's a very well done, just like Ripley. It's, this character has her own strengths and weaknesses, but she's surviving off of what her strengths are, or sometimes just pure luck or chance. It's not like all of a sudden she has this insane superhuman ability that doesn't make sense. She's very human, and that's what makes it compelling to me. So I enjoyed it. Go see it if you like the original movies. I think you will like this.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah, I definitely want to see it. I've heard nothing but good things. Kevin
loved it also.
And that's all we've heard all around is how good it is.
Yeah. And like for me, I've not been a fan at all of the Prometheus movies. I don't like what they've done with those.
It's one of those things where they were supposed to explaining the origin of the aliens, and realistically, I never felt they accomplished that. I always felt like it was something else. So,
right. Well, even the writing was just bad. Like you got these people who are space pioneers or whatever they were, miners or whatever. Yeah. They crash land on this strange planet, and there's no protocols in place. They just walk out and they're breathing the air and, oh, let's drink the water. And they're drinking, like, what, you're not worried about parasites in the water? Like, it just seemed like a fifth grader wrote this movie the way it unfolded. And I'm just like, the choices they were making, I'm just like, I felt like there was no thought put into it. I think they could have made him great. I felt it was lazy. I guess is the best way I can say it. And then you have Ridley Scott, who has his own agenda that he's trying to shoehorn in. And I think that's where for me as a Christian, it ruined it. I mean, he's open about it. He hates Christianity. And the whole purpose of the movies was to discount Christianity and to say Jesus was an alien. Now, the studio overrode him and made him cut out certain parts. But that was his purpose for these Prometheus movies, according to him. And so it's like, well, that's kind of dumb. So just tell a good story.
I think that I have a lot of that stuff is when people hate whatever it is, whether it's Christianity, Islam, Buddhist, or whatever they say they hate, and I'm going to create this thing and I'm going to make fun of it the whole time, or I'm going to trash it and show how bad it is.
Yeah.
But they never accomplish their goal because their hate comes through as what it is, just pure hate. Hate is hate.
Yeah. When you focus on something you love, the passion shines through and it comes out really good. Actually, this is a great, look at Acolyte. What was it? I mean, according to the director, they hate the patriarchy. They hate the roots going back to the original stuff George Lucas wrote. And their goal was to overturn. So they weren't writing about what they love about Star Wars. They were writing against what they hate. And so it failed. And
that is the whole thing it's funny. I'm still seeing tons of ads and articles pop up for Acolyte, like, oh, these toxic fans. It's like, no, it's not toxic fans. People who hate shitty writing, and that's what's popped up with Prometheus movies. I mean, I feel like we're on a roll these last several weeks. That come out of shitty writing. Like, it is.
Yeah. It is. And I think it goes back to what we talked about before is there are people getting elevated through the ranks based upon who they know and their agendas. It's like, ooh, I love that you're against this too. So I'm going to have you write my movie. So these people aren't making their way up the rung and starting with, start as a low-level writer, work your way up, and then to a TV show, then to a movie. No, it's just, oh, you did a documentary about women's rights, so we're just going to have you write now a franchise. It's like, wait, that's a big leap. Like,
oh yeah,
really? A documentary is much different than character development and writing an arc. It makes no sense. So,
and that's the whole thing, and they do that a lot, and I think it's almost like the old adage with Hollywood. It's not who you, it is who you know, but I think it's also who you blow, and it feels like that's what they're all doing. I'm gonna be hard to on that. It's ridiculous that people are getting these green lights on franchises that have never really done anything like this.
Right. At least do a independent short movie showing you understand the genre. Do a science fiction 20-minute short movie. Yeah, but they don't even have that on their resume.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. It's just ridiculous on how.
But meanwhile, you go on YouTube or other sites and you can find amazing stuff being done by independent filmmakers that's just amazing. And these people aren't getting anywhere. The doors aren't opening for them.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Some of the, even with Star Wars, I love looking up independent fan films that are better than what the real films are. And it's like they're just blowing it away with what they're putting out there in these fan films. But these are hardcore fans who are trying to pay homage to Lucas, not tear down what Lucas did.
Oh yeah, and that's the whole thing. It started with when Disney bought Star Wars. The first thing Kathleen Kennedy said was, the Force is female. We're going to tear down the patriarchy.
Yep.
And shake everything up, and that's everything she has had her hands on, from the High Republic stuff, whatever has done that. And then when they were doing she allowed Ryan Johnson to do his thing, and that's where you can see the ultimate failure. And I've been seeing more and more posts lately. They showed where everybody's like, get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. It's like, well, it looks like Taika Waititi and what's her name, Headley, that just did this. Actually, they're gone from Star Wars. Like, yeah, they're not coming back because you've got. They're not saying Filoni directly, but he's probably working with, Bob Iger right now, who's going to eventually hand everything off again to somebody else. Like, Time for these people to go. We need to get back
Yeah.
on track. You want to be profitable, which is what it is. It's about profitability, and they realize they're losing money, major money on this stuff.
Major money. And at the end of the day, even Bob Iger answers to stockholders. So if people are losing you can only lose billions so long,
Right.
you know, and before somebody has to make changes. Now, supposedly too, behind the scenes, I guess they're having a hard now, you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. This is stuff read on the internet. So I'll preface it with that. But supposedly Lucasfilm is more embedded with the woke crowd, and it's a harder thing for Disney to overturn. But in Marvel, I guess they've been quietly going through and allowing contracts to expire or letting people go or shifting them who are on the woke side and then slowly replacing them with writers and different things. So it sounds like we just got to get through a little bit more of that with Marvel, and in the coming year or two, we should start seeing the projects that are based upon, written and produced by people who have earned their way to those spots instead of just handed over.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're seeing. I think with Filoni taking over, and we've said this for years. I like Filoni. He understands George's vision. He's a good writer, good creator. He understands that stuff. So I think that where they need to be with that. And I've said this for many times. All these woke people, go make your own stuff. Create something new. Put it out there. See if people like it. So I'll tell you this: if you can't tell a good story, nobody's gonna give a shit.
Right. Well, and how about this? If you make something, just shut up and let it go out there and let a fan watch it and decide what it is to themselves instead of doing a giant publicity tour, making sure everyone understands this isn't for you, and then saying if you don't like it, don't see it, and then cry that they didn't see it. Like, hello, you're like totally sabotaging your own initial run.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's like, oh, we failed because the toxic people didn't go see it. It's like, but you called us names in the pre-release, told us not to see it, so we listened.
Yeah. And that's
it's just crazy world we live in.
Well, that's the whole thing with the whole thing is like, they want to blame everybody with themselves, and the thing is this: if you say, well, I like what I did, here it is, that's fine. But I mean, the minute you come out there and say it's going to be this, and this, I've complained about DC enough saying I'm tired of them telling me what everything's going to be in these stupid movies.
Yeah.
And that's all it was stupid movie stuff. So
yeah. Speaking of DC,
yeah,
the James Gunn DC movies are coming out. I was trying to see if there's any. The rumor, like I said, you never know with rumors, but the rumor is Elizabeth Olsen's going to be their Wonder Woman, which I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know if she's got the gravitas to be Wonder Woman.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I have trouble picturing Elizabeth Olsen as Wonder Woman. I liked her as Scarlet Witch, but I feel like Gunn is using a ton of Marvel actors for his stuff. And I mean, they're actors. They can cross over, obviously, but I wouldn't mind seeing fresh people at some of the roles.
It'd be nice to get some, and that's what we said before. The best thing that worked with Marvel at the beginning was pretty much they were known, but they weren't like big stars.
Right.
Now, we knew who Chris Evans was. He'd done Human Torch, he'd seen him in other stuff. Hemsworth was really just getting going. He only done a few things that we knew of. So it was even with X-Men, originally X-Men with Fox, it was, Hugh Jackman was not known until he became Wolverine.
Yeah.
He was known as a stage guy. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. So it's stuff like that. So,
yeah. Now they do have an unknown for the most part playing Superman. So I am curious to see how he does.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how the look and feel of this is. My biggest concern with really isn't even the actors though. It's, will James Gunn make this its own product, or is it just going to feel like Guardians of the Galaxy? You know what I mean? Is it going to be a bunch of slow motion walking scenes with modern day music, or 1980s music soundtrack throughout? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the first Guardians movie was great, but by the third, it's like he had so many slow motion walk-in scenes with something blowing up behind it, and it became its own, almost a gimmick of itself. Like,
Right.
and so I hope he gives this a completely different feel than his Guardians movies.
Yeah. Well, and maybe he will. I mean, it's we'll see. I personally, I want to see him just be the showrunner and not directing and writing everything, or controlling everything from above. He needs to be controlling the overall aspect of it to make sure people are staying on track. But I don't want him saying, well, here's what I want. I want to make sure you get a giant spider and 18 different slow motion, and make sure most of them look like covers from comics that the fanboys are going to cream over.
Yeah. Let's see. Is Screen Rant a reliable source?
Yeah, they're mixed.
They're mixed. So let's see. Well, this is covering James Gunn reveals his plan. Chapter 1 is called Gods and Monsters, which I've heard that before, kicking off in 2025. You got Superman Legacy.
Yeah.
You got The Authority, which is based on Wildstorm characters. It explores anti-heroes who have good intentions while going to extremes due to how broken the world is. Then you got The Brave and the Bold, which will be Batman and Robin, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Swamp Thing. So those are going to be the movies in their chapter 1 of their. So I guess they're calling them chapters instead of phases.
Yeah, and he's and while they're going on a Supergirl route, it's different from the TV show. Is my understanding, and then bringing a thing, I kind of like that, because I mean we haven't had much Swamp Thing lately, so.
So this says the Girl of Steel is getting her own solo movie, which will be based on Tom King's recent DC run, as he is an architect of the project too. While Superman was raised on Earth with kind parents, Supergirl stayed on a piece of Krypton that drifted off. It'll explore her life as she was forced to see many loved ones tragically die. So that's a departure from her origin before. Before, she also was launched. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. It's just her vessel got to Earth before his, so she aged sooner. Or no, was she younger or older? She's younger.
I think she was originally older.
Originally.
But because of her caught in the thing, by the time she got here, Kal-El had already become Superman.
All right, that's it. Yeah, so the timing was different on their arrival.
Yeah, so she didn't age during that time.
Right.
She was sent as a child to protect her cousin. The spacecraft was knocked off course. She crashed landed on Earth 24 years after he had already grown up. So that's kind of where that was the basis of the different ones I've seen.
Yeah, so she was older on Krypton, but due to space-time continuum, whatever, by the time she got here, she was younger then.
Yeah.
So this looks like she's witnessing the destruction of Krypton and then survives on a small chunk of planet. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then the TV shows for their chapter 1, let's see, Creature Commandos. It's an animated series. Then Waller, starring, which is interesting. They got Viola Davis in that, which wasn't she in the other? She was Waller for the other universe too, right? With Suicide Squad and all that.
I think so. Yeah, she was in that. So he is bringing people from those into it.
Looks like Peacemaker is also going to be part of this.
Yeah, that's his thing. That's his baby.
Okay, so that's going to be part of this. Doom Patrol also. Wait a minute. Doom Patrol executive producer. Heading up. Yeah, it's just the guy who was executive producer of that is coming over. Okay. the Lanterns. So they're going to have a TV show centering on Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Paradise Lost. This is a Wonder Woman prequel series in the style of Game of Thrones. It's going to focus on the origin of Themyscira before Princess Diana's time.
Yeah.
So we're going to see the origin. And then Booster Gold is going to have a series. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's their chapter 1. We'll see where it goes. So James Gunn is really just a creative director. Is that
Right.
what he is? Okay.
Well, he should be the showrunner, is basically the way to put it. Like a TV.
Right.
Instead of like he's the Feige of the DC, where Feige's a Marvel,
Right.
and that's where he's if he gets too much hands on, I think it could not be good. I think he needs to oversee, but and when someone comes and said, "Hey, here's our story, here's the script," you can still go, "Okay, that doesn't work. Do this," or they need to know where they're going instead of throwing the crap on the wall and seeing what sticks.
Well, and making movies is an art form, right? And all artists, as you get to know their work, you can see something and see, like, you can look at Alex Ross and know it's Alex Ross without knowing Alex Ross did it, and different things. And so if someone like James Gunn did the entire chapter 1 stuff, it would start getting old because his signature parts, his style, we would start recognizing instantly. By having different people doing the different movies, it gives flavor. It gives different color palettes that only one person wouldn't be able to do. The same with my stuff. That's where Crimson Shadows is fun, is that it's not just my style. It's my style mixed with Brett's, mixed with Kevin's, and it gives it a whole different feel than if any of us did it alone. So, yeah, I am curious to see where the DC stuff goes. I hope it's good. James Gunn knows he likes making fans happy, so I think he'll try to make it really good.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt until I see something different. So.
I don't know if we've had a chance to talk about it. What were your thoughts on the trailer for the Captain America: Brave New World?
I liked it.
I did too.
It felt very classic Marvel movies, MCU. It felt like they were not trying to deal with all the whole, dimensional time travels and everything else. It's something place here. I mean, you've got they're introducing the Red Hulk. We're seeing those things going. So they're moving the story forward as it needs to move with the new Captain America. I really enjoyed the Falcon Winter Soldier series.
Me too.
And what's funny is I see when people they slam it all the time. I'm going, this, in my opinion, of all the Marvel series, that was the best one because it stayed more true to the characters and built upon the story that needed to be built to get to the point where the Falcon became Captain America. And so all this, it was basically like when you buy these comics that have an event going on, you get the main event comics. They always do all these side comics you don't have to read. It gave us a lot of that side stuff that you wanted to know the story anyways. Seeing, Falcon with his family, where he came from, his history, they incorporated some of that into it. So it added more to the character. We've got to see the Winter Soldier, how he's become how he is, more and more involved in the he's 100 years old. I mean, he's been around for a long time. So how he's acclimated to the new world and himself and things like that. And I like how they did that. I really enjoyed it. And I think that with Brave New World, I'm really looking forward to it. I think we got a great Captain America. We got a great actor playing him. He's going to do a great job with it. He respects the character. So
there's speaking of that, since we're on that topic too, I guess there's official footage. I haven't watched this yet from the Thunderbolts coming up.
Okay.
Which I believe Winter Soldier is part of the Thunderbolts. Yes,
he's going to be in that. As far as I know, he's not in the new Captain America. I think he might be. So.
Asking a parent who's his favorite child. I think I love them all.
I often look back at the early 60s in the famous Marvel bullpen.
This is
Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko.
I guess the footage is inside. Let's
Spider-Man,
see if I can find
the
it.
Avengers, the X-Men, and the
I waited a long time for this team up. Can you imagine the fun
chaos.
It's just a oh
Shut
here.
up.
This is all it is. That was it. Really? That's it?
Well, of course, it's like, you know.
Door. Although I guess we can see who's in it. Let's see. There we go. There. So there we see the Patriot, which is what's Kurt Russell's son's name? Whatever his name.
Wait, it's Wyatt?
Wyatt, that's it. So there's Wyatt. You got it's been so long since I've seen these characters, I'm forgetting their names. What's Black Widow's sister's name? We got her, we got Bucky.
Yeah.
Who's that? Who's the girl there next to Bucky? Oh, Taskmaster. Yeah, that's right. And then the Red Guardian or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Alexei whatever. David Harbour.
Yeah, David Harbour. Russian David Harbour. So
That was
you got
great
those.
that the Marvel panel, he come out dressed in the costume. He actually people said he walked through
The floor.
in full costume, and then we realized it was actually him at first.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's cool guy dressed up as him. That's sweet, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, everybody finds out, they're like, oh, man.
Yeah. What I like about Thunderbolt and Captain America Brave New World is both of these, I believe, will be away from multiverse.
Yes.
Which is desperately needed. They got to break away from it. I love multiverse stories, but they fell in their own trap where they just, for a year and a half, everything was that, and it gets old.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. What are your thoughts on? Did you see the trailer for the Kraven movie?
Not yet, but the stuff I seen earlier, was not thrilled with at all.
It sounds like they're changing his origin story and all that. Sony keeps doing the Spider-Verse without Spider-Man. I think they desperately need Spider-Man in it, and you got Andrew Garfield, you got Tobey Maguire. Take either of them back, or cast a new one, because the Sonyverse is it Sony? Yeah, that's Sony.
Yeah,
the Sonyverse is a different universe than the Marvel MCU. They have Tom Holland in the Marvel MCU. You can either cast a fresh one or use one of the previous ones. Either way, those stories need Spider-Man in the center. It just doesn't work. All these other characters they keep trying to do, Venom and Kraven and what was the other one? Morbius. You need Spider-Man in them. Like he's the center of all their stories, but they keep trying to do it without him. So they even teased in one of those post-credit scenes, Michael Keaton's Vulture got sucked into that universe.
Right.
Use him.
Yeah.
You know,
and that would be, but let's with the end of the day. The problem is that I think Sony's just they've never been able to recapture what they got with the first three movies, the Tobey Maguire movies. At the time, that's what everybody wanted. You know, we were like, man, Spider-Man, we gotta go see it. So everybody saw that first Spider-Man, and fortunately, it was done good. You know, and it helped that it was Sam Raimi, you know, fellow Detroiter, Michigander, whatever you want to put that did it, and he handled it right. You know,
I think they're missing out on a potential goldmine here with either Toby or Andrew Garfield, though, in that either of those actors give you the opportunity to explore an older Spider-Man. Even in the comics, Spider-Man is perpetually young. This allows you to explore a character, maybe the hardships of aging and being a superhero and those kind of things. And it would be all fresh stories that really aren't even covered in the comics, you know? And I feel like both of those actors are receptive to reprising their roles after doing the No Way Home.
Yeah, I think Andrew Garfield more is open to that. It would, and we've talked before. I'd love to see him still continue that story they had there. Mm-hmm. I liked what the direction of the Amazing Spider-Man movies was going. I liked that they were going towards Sinister Six, or if they didn't do Sinister Six, Sinister whatever, because that was a lot of those guys. But it's just you know, they backed out of it because of Marvel going to, hey, this is what we want to do. and of course they offer them big money, and of course the Sony movies were for Spider-Man were really good with Tom Holland, but that's because they were Marvel movies. They were tied in with MCU quite a bit. So I think that I think that Sony really almost needs to relinquish Spider-Man.
Yeah, they keep trying to hold on to it, but they're making, especially in comparison to the MCU. Now, MCU now maybe Sony will be a welcome change the way Marvel's been these last two phases, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they got to do, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
It's like the Venom movies. People like them, and they were okay. They were not great. They were just okay.
Yeah.
The
But
first,
even that, it's
Okay.
Venom without Spider-Man.
yeah, the second one I like the first. I like the second one better than the first one, the Venom. Which I didn't watch the first one until after I watched the second one, so that might be part of it. But the second one at least was funny. It had some humor to it and stuff like that. I was like, okay, you don't take yourself seriously. It's worse, but it's still revolving around Spider-Man. So when we see the whole bit with Venom, he's like, oh, that's not our Peter Parker, that's somebody else.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, he's like, Spider-Man's not even been a part of anything with Venom in these movies, not since the third movie. So.
Well, and they also introduced Venom as a hero right away.
Yeah.
I feel like they really should have done a run with him being you could have really explored the horror verse side of things with Venom as a savage bad guy, and utilize him that way. And then down the road, do a Sinister Six or whatever, and make him part of it if you want. And then down the road, convert him to more the sarcastic hero. It's going to be hard. Like, how do you utilize him as a villain ever with the way they've introduced him?
Well, and that's the whole thing is they fell in the same trap as other stuff has. Is they want to make these villains the heroes,
right?
Or
like
even
Craven in the trailer, it looks like they're giving him this backstory where you're going to be sympathetic towards him, and and Morbius was the same way, and like not everyone has to be a good guy.
Yeah, well, Morbius is like falls in the same vein as a little bit of the Punisher. They're anti-heroes. They're not. They're kind of they're chaotic neutrals.
Yeah.
And with that, it's they're not fully bad, but they're definitely not good, and they do have their own agendas at heart.
But I believe he was a villain in the comics, wasn't he? Wasn't he a true villain?
I thought he was about like I said, like chaotic neutral. I didn't think he was like a true villain.
Oh yeah,
I think
series
urges.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He had his own series and everything too. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
So
yeah,
I think I didn't mind Morbius. I thought it was fine, but it wasn't great. I mean, don't get me wrong on that.
Right.
I think it was like
okay.
I got it going, but the problem is with Sony with that stuff is they don't have a true vision. That's why we saw Madam Web come out, and those that claim to like it still can't say what about it they like. They like the idea of all these female characters, and that's fine. But again, I tried to watch it. I couldn't get 10 minutes into it.
Right. And once again, it was another Spider movie with no Spider-Man.
Well, and that was the whole thing. And then they tried to introduce different Spider people and the stuff. Yeah. They didn't handle that right, so it's just, I don't know. It's just not, yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So, other than that, I haven't really watched much else this past week.
Yeah.
I've been still watching. About the only thing I'm watching is the Drew Carey show. I just got through the third season.
I don't think we talked about. We can do a very quick conversation. We're running out of time, but I finished up Evil.
Oh yeah.
We didn't talk about that on the show here. I don't think so. I enjoyed it. It was a series finale. That to me felt more like a regular season finale. So I feel like they definitely kept the door open for future projects if they want.
Yeah, I have a feeling that with Evil, we may see either a new series, there's a hint of that, But I think it's going to be. I would like to do movies, and I think that they could still center around Father Acosta,
Mhm.
and since he's now in Rome, I'd love to see them bring in the nun. I love her; she's great.
Yeah, if they go the movie route, you could really take it to another level with the horror aspect of the show. You can
Yeah.
still keep some of the cheeky comedy in it that they have, the dynamics between the characters and some of the goofy stuff they throw in. But if you really dive into this and make it like something on the level of maybe Evil Dead, but maybe a little more Evil Dead with a little bit more Exorcist mixed in, you know, I think you could have a really cool movie franchise with this. You know, and then the series is just the foundation that laid what that universe is, you know, for it.
Yeah, and I think it could. I'd like to see. I mean, they hinted a lot of horror stuff. I think the hardest part with the Evil is since they couldn't do a full fifth season, they were really gearing up for some serious stuff.
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah,
And
they led up to a great climax that didn't happen.
yeah, and I think that it's something that they go back and revisit, and if they go more into horror, we still know that what's his name, the bad guy, he's technically still alive. They got him locked up in a cupboard. They're supposed to,
Leland.
Leland. How is evil? Because he is pure evil.
But even with him, he was kind of mid-level. And so the major bad guys in it who were higher up than him weren't even addressed in the finale. So all those guys, those families are all out there still.
Yeah.
So there's a lot they can address here moving forward. Or they could, as far as an ending point, it's an okay ending for a series if they do nothing else. The main antagonist, Leland, for the series, he's locked up. Everyone went their own way, and their lives are continuing. So,
yeah.
So it could be either way, but I hope they continue it. Maybe give it a couple year break while they write a true good arc. You could get a really quality 3-movie arc out of this.
I think so, and I think you could properly give a proper finale to everything. You know, because they left it open with with Kristen's child, she didn't technically give birth to, but they sold her embryo, the surrogate, and it's supposed to be the Antichrist.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, yeah.
So I enjoyed the series as a whole. If you haven't watched it, it's a fun series to watch. It's a good TV series.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's one of those series that I wouldn't mind down the road maybe revisiting again because I really like the characters, the actors. The best thing they did though really was, I mean, we had a great core. Again, rule of 3. We had our 3 main people. So that were our core.
David, Ben, and Kristen.
Yep. And but when they introduced, you know, some great side characters, and they had a couple that had left because unfortunately they passed away in between seasons. But when they brought in the nun there, and she's from the Big Fat Greek Wedding movies, she's just been perfect. I like how she could see things. I liked her input. They allowed her to be the character that could just say certain things that people wanted to say but couldn't say it.
Right.
So,
I agree. Yeah, it was good. Good character development all the way around. Even Kristen's mom, who is killed off in the show, she's like the character you love to hate.
Yeah.
And they did a good job with her. Leland too, you love to hate him.
Oh yeah.
That actor, what's his real name? Ben?
Yeah, he played Ben in Lost.
Oh yeah. But whatever the real name is, he always plays those scummy characters so well.
Here.
He's got one of those punchable faces as you.
You know, he's 69 years old.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but yeah, Leland, it's Michael Emerson. You know, he got known for Lost, but he's got a pretty good resume of stuff. I have to go back and see what he did in some of these. But yeah, he's been around for like 97, 90, something from 90, 97. I think he probably did. I bet he did a lot of stage work. So, but yeah, he was in Saw. And then it's the For Law. So he hit that all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned his age. Quick side note. I just found out the other day Red Fox was 49 years old when he started filming Sanford and Son, and it lasted 5 years. So that picture of him there, he is somewhere between 49 to 54 years old.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, a lot of that was enhancements to make him look even older. Because there's pictures of him from that time when he's not as the Red Fox character, as the.
Oh, really? Okay.
He still looks. He's up there. He's got some age to him, but it doesn't look that bad. That's a lot of, I think, more of making him more gray and everything else. So.
Everyone on that show, Lamont was 26. He looks 50. His old friend there, I forget what his name was. It was actually younger than him. He was like 42 when they filmed. And then the old lady he always called ugly was 52. Like,
yeah. Now
what is going on?
I heard a podcast about her. I want to say it was the Mobituary one. And she had a hard life. Now she grew up with Red Fox, so they grew up kind of tough. And but she had her first child when she was like 14.
Yeah.
Married a couple times, ended up with a couple kids by the time she was in her early 20s, and working and struggling and everything else. Ended up working in the clubs and things like that, and then became doing the stand up. And the Red Fox really helped her hone her craft. And they were really close. She was family to him. So her being in that show was all him.
Gotcha.
So I was looking up that Michael Emerson and his wife. His wife is Carrie Preston. She's on that show Elsbeth. She stars as the main character. And she's being good wife, stuff like that. Going, I knew who that name, but so I was like, oh, okay. It's funny though, you start going down these rabbit holes of who these people are and what they've done. So
I didn't realize. So Carrie Preston?
yeah.
Oh yeah, she's been in tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Was she in the vampire one with Rogue?
I'm not sure.
Let's see, Carrie Preston. What was it called? They would drink the V. Claus, Good Wife, True Blood. Yep, she was in True Blood. I loved her in True Blood.
Yeah, she's right. Yeah, I've got pictures in that. Played one of the waitresses.
Yeah, I didn't realize she was married to Michael Preston.
Yeah,
I mean, awesome. Huh. Yeah, I liked her in True Blood. She was a fun character.
Yeah, that was a fun show. It's getting I'm seeing little pop-ups right here and there. There's been rumors of them going back and doing a new series based on that. That was a very successful novel series. But I understand they veered from the novels. You know, they used like the first few novels and they veered completely away from that.
Yeah,
have to on the TV show versus the novels. I mean, it's when you got as many as they had in that one. It becomes too much, and then of course aging and stuff like that. You know, you can watch that too. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for me today.
Yeah, I think we're pretty well covered here. So, so hopefully I'll have some next time on. I'll be back next week, of course. We'll be back Monday night in Portland.
All right. Well, have a safe trip.
I will give a review of the Voodoo Donuts.
Awesome.
So,
all right.
Good seeing y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Take care, guys.
Good.
I gotta go put on the video.
Oh yeah.